Hey guys, welcome to my new movie collections update video for the month of March. I'm glad you can join me. As always, guys, I always appreciate it. Again, continue to like my videos, continue watching them. Those of you that leave me comments on my videos, I really appreciate, guys. Really appreciate the support, alright? So, as always, give me comments, tell me what else I should be looking out for, guys, as well. And also, one more thing, if you guys want to follow me on my Twitter, definitely do so. So I'll leave that information down in the description below, alright, guys? So, a couple of new things I'm going to do this time around, as well as the actual physical movies that I have here to show you that I have on disc. I've been watching a lot of movies as of late actually online as well, so I'm probably also going to be talking a little bit about those. So I'll probably include, just a few of those movies that I've been watching or streaming online as part of these videos too, alright, guys and gals. So one of the first movies that I have to basically talk about is this film called Little Birds. It stars Juno Temple, and it's about her and her best friend. They live out in a trailer park area somewhere. I don't remember the exact location, but they're pretty much kind of like living at the low end, of society, and it's basically about Juno Temple's character and her best friend living in this area, wanting to kind of venture out. They kind of meet these other guys that come from Los Angeles. They end up going to Los Angeles to kind of see what life is like outside of their small little living area that they're pretty much have grown up in all their lives. So they go out there, they experience things, and you kind of see like the development of what one character actually wants to do more of, and the other character kind of sees that this is basically not exactly what they had in mind in terms of what they expected to see or experience once they ventured out of their town. So it's pretty interesting just to see that dynamic going on in there. There's a lot of pretty interesting things that happen in that film as well, as well as of course some harsh realities in terms of just leaving your small town to a big city and the things that can kind of happen if you're not too careful about who you're with and things like that, who you trust. So it's a pretty decent film. It was actually interesting seeing Juno Temple. I think this is probably one of her earlier films that she did in her career. So it was really interesting seeing her in that film. The next film that I have to show that I've watched online is this movie called Kung Fu Jungle with Donnie Yen. Unfortunately, the only thing that I have to say about this film is that I didn't get to see an English subtitle version of this film, so my comments on it are going to might be correct, might be slightly incorrect as well. But from my understanding, the film basically stars Donnie Yen, like I said before, and it's about him being brought in by the police because he's in jail for a crime that he committed very early in the film. So he's kind of being contracted by the police to kind of figure out who's murdering a lot of other martial artists around the city. They bring in Donnie Yen's character to kind of figure out, where's he going, or how's he, going about trying to kill his victims, or who his next victims are. So the whole movie is just basically about following Donnie Yen's character, trying to figure out how to meet this guy, how to find him, how to, and so there's a lot of interesting things going on in there. A lot of really good fight scenes, of course, that you would come to expect from Donnie Yen. I just wish that I had seen an English language version of it, or English subtitled version of it, so I can understand some of the more intricate details of the storyline behind, the story plot in the film as well. But overall, I thought it was really good, just for the action sequences and the fight sequences. And the last video that I have to talk about as far as streaming goes is My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn. I remember seeing this movie, in pieces several times before, and always kind of was fascinated by, again, just seeing Audrey Hepburn's character of Eliza Doolittle kind of like transform from someone who basically is uncultured, unsophisticated, again, talks with a very unsophisticated type of language, again, and just being brought up to be a more proper person, a more proper lady. So it was very interesting seeing that, and just the fact that, of course, this is what a musical through and through. The entire film was almost 3 hours long, but it's really a lot of fun too. Every once in a while I like to look at some of these old films from a lot of these old actors or actresses, and just seeing more or less what they were about before, and contrasting them to modern day films and things like that. It's pretty interesting, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was really good watching it, so it was really good to actually finally watch it in its entirety too. So definitely, guys, all those movies I'd say are pretty much good recommends. However classical or however modern they are, they're pretty good recommends from my part. Alright, guys, so moving on to the actual movies that I have physically in my collection. The first movie that I have to talk about, of course, is I have the 35th anniversary edition of the film Alien. Now, this is absolutely, again, I remember watching this a long time ago, and was always curious, especially since I like only the first two Alien movies, so I needed to have this one in my collection as well. So I actually finally got the chance to actually watch in its entirety. It looks great. It's been remastered for Blu-ray release. Looks absolutely amazing. Looks great. Sigourney Weaver, of course, very young in this film. And this particular edition comes with, of course, the Blu-ray version of it with a better or a different cover art compared to the earlier release of the Blu-ray version. Plus, it comes with a graphic novel version of the film. All right, so really cool. It's pretty much the entire film in graphic novel. So that was really cool. And plus, it comes with some cool art cards in here as well. From you know, I think it's this way. Yeah, art cards that come in this little packet. So if you can find this, you know, at your local Best Buy or wherever you can find Blu-ray movies, and if you can find this version, I'd say definitely pick it up. It's worth it. The next film that I have to show you is I picked up this horror film called At the Devil's Door, and it's basically about these two sisters that one of them is a real estate agent who is trying to sell this house that had unfortunately some sinister events happen. There was a murder, I believe, that happened in this house revolving this, I believe, or it was a little girl that no, it was a young teenager that basically is kind of is possessed by something in the house. And what happens is that the one of the sisters, who is a real estate agent, ends up getting possessed and killed by the evil spirit, and her sister tries to figure out basically what's going on and why it's happening. So she goes to the house, she investigates, things happen, you know, and basically the whole movie is just trying to understand why this particular ghost or demon was pursuing these particular sisters, especially the one sister that's left alive. Like, why was the demon, you know, going after her? I thought it was a pretty interesting movie. It's rare that I see, you know, paranormal type movies of this manner like this. And it was shot very, you know, fairly well as well too. So I definitely say, guys, give this one a chance. It's really good. At the Devil's Door. The next film that I have to show you is Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader in The Skeleton Twins. I remember seeing a trailer to this movie sometime last year and thinking it was pretty interesting seeing Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig, both former SNL cast members, working together in this film. And just the basic premise that they're both, they play twins, and that they're dealing with problems. They haven't seen each other in, I believe, over 10 years. You know, there's a particular event that happens that kind of brings them back together. And we find out that they're basically both suicidal because of the experiences that they've had in their lives and the current things that they're dealing with at the moment when we're introduced to them in this film. And Bill Hader kind of plays a gay character as well, you know, and it's just really, really amazing just seeing that dynamic and just seeing how they both play their parts. It's really a lot of fun. There's really a great story behind this movie too, guys. It's really great. It was really kind of engaging. I really enjoyed this movie a lot, guys. So definitely, I'd say, if you can find it or stream it or whatever your means are for watching films, I say definitely check out The Skeleton Twins. This is an amazing performance by both these actors. And a lot of other actors here. There's Luke Wilson and Ty Burrell are also in this movie as well. So definitely, it's a great film, guys. So definitely check it out. The next film that I have to show you, of course, is Michael Bay's version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you can probably already tell by the tone of my voice that, you know, honestly, while visually and martial arts action-wise, it's okay. Just okay, right? Again, for me, it just kind of doesn't live up to what I knew what the Ninja Turtles were all about growing up, watching the 80s cartoons, watching the original live-action Ninja Turtles films that came out, at least the first two, which were probably the best ones out of all of them. You know, so there are a lot of differences between this one in terms of, you know, how Splinter came to be a martial arts master. It's completely different from the original. You know, and the purpose of April and what her connection is with the Turtles. I mean, they've changed a lot of things, and I guess, again, just to modernize it for today's audiences, although I don't know why they had to do that. To be quite honest, they could have kept the original storyline and the original premise behind all the characters the same for this version, you know. I mean, the whole Foot Clan thing, you know, the way it was portrayed in this film, they could have kept it the way it was. It's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I just had a problem with basically just the narrative story or history behind the actual Turtles themselves and Splinter and April and what their connection is here. It's like, why did they do it this way? I have no idea. For those of you that have seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about, especially those of you that have remembered the original cartoon series and the original films. You know what I'm talking about. So, you know, you'll probably either agree with me that, yeah, they should have left it the same, or, you know, again, you know, yeah, you have to, I guess, accept changes for what they are. But, I mean, other than that, again, guys, visually and action-wise, it's pretty good coming from Michael Bay, of course. What would you expect? But everything else, again, for me, just kind of felt like it was too far removed from the original, you know, but it is what it is, guys, alright? So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the last film that I have to show you is this film called This Is Where I Leave You. It stars Tina Fey and there's a host of other characters. Jason Bateman is in this movie. They actually play siblings in this film. And it's about, you know, all these siblings coming together at the moment when they find out that their father has died. And they're all under the same roof. Because I believe, if I recall, they're all, you know, Jewish. So they come together to try to observe, I believe it's like a week-long type of ceremony that they do in order to observe the death of a family member. And it's about having to come to terms and having to kind of be open about each other's situations with each other. I hope that makes sense. You know, in other words, they're explaining their situations to each other, especially after being apart for so long. And you get to see basically that all these siblings that are part of this family have a lot of baggage behind them, a lot of issues that they're bringing back with them. And as much as they try to keep it separate from, again, the reason why they're there, of course it just comes out because other characters come in, they kind of just bring up certain things that they thought they were going to try to separate themselves from, but they don't. But overall, it was a great film. It was really amazing just to see this, and just seeing just the character dynamics and even kind of like the dysfunctional family element that exists in this film, and just seeing how they try to work things out anyway, and how siblings kind of like really come together at times like this to be, you know, be a unit in terms of a family, and just seeing all the other things that happen here as well, which are, you know, were pretty kind of like they were surprising to a certain extent as well too. So but it was really good, guys. I definitely say if you have a chance, check out This Is Where I Leave. It's a really great film. I really enjoyed it a lot, guys. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this, you know, this new dynamic that I'm adding. Well, not dynamic, but this new added section to these videos now, where I'm going to be also looking at videos that are streamed online as well, guys. So I hope you enjoy that. Leave me comments, guys, below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what else I should be looking out for. As always, guys, stay safe and keep watching films, and I'll catch you next time. All right, guys?